Okay, you're on.
One way to solve a nagging problem. And is she driving you nuts? John Nuts was asked regarding his nagging wife. And no, said John, and continued with, I told her to pull over so I could walk. While they were arguing about, well, you name it, the counterfeiter's wife told him, you don't make any sense. And as he then warmed up his tools, oh, the trade, he said, okay, dear, how many rows, pennies, do ye need, eh? I remember one day when I was about 7, I went over to my grandparents' house to visit and found their door locked. So I tried to push myself inside through the mailbox next to the door and got stuck in it. And then they arrived and Grandpa pulled me out of it and yelled at me. And I said, well, I guess I didn't have the proper postage on me. I love this one. While watching online porn recently, I scalped General Custer. And as I ejaculated, I lifted up my other hand and gave George a proper salute.
That's bad.
I admit that I have skeletons in my closet. I'm reminded of it constantly when I'm rudely awakened and yell, quit your rattling, hey? This is terrible. I once had mass hysteria, so much so I had to take a few weeks off from going to daily Catholic church services. I was told at my favorite bar, next time you sing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, leave out the hiccuping, eh? Black Sabbath meets Lawrence Welk. I once answered an ad for a heavy metal band looking for a lead singer. And at our first gig, I took the mic in hand and began with, give my regards to Broadway, only to abruptly stop and tell the lead guitarist, put down that awful sounding instrument and pick up the accordion, eh? I've been told that I'm delusional. Well, I don't know, but I recently called the cops to report an incident of flying saucers coming from a next door neighbor's house, only to be told, don't worry about it. It's only your drunken next door neighbor throwing the dishes around again. And I then said, okay, but if it happens again, I'm calling NASA. Please, Jim, no X-rated comedy, okay? All right. Where are the presents, sir? That's the heading. And then there's Army Drill Sergeant Santa Claus. Every morning during Reveille, oh, the men run out towards the nearest Christmas tree. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There was a woman I dated briefly. Whenever we had dinner conversations, she took the words right out of my mouth, leaving me with nothing to say. And after we broke up, I mysteriously lost my appetite for Meatloaf. The Meatloaf, the band Meatloaf did a song called She Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth. Yeah. Only to end with this. Jim, please, do X-rated comedy. The trip that changed my life. Years ago, I lost my footing while stepping onto an icy curb. As I was crossing the street and landed on my back. I've had this herniation ever since then. This is terrible. 1915, while hunting in the woods, a guy accidentally had his balls shot off by another hunter, and then he had exploratory surgery performed on him and was fitted with metallic replacement testicles. In 1916, he became the father of a very famous man, the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. Flying at the top normal at the bottom. Really? I constantly get high. But then I always have to walk back down the stairs. Yeah, that's awful. My boss at work recently told me that he fired a weapon. And gee, replied I, what did John a weapon do? And he shot his mouth off, said he. Please, officer, leave us be now. And I now dress up when I date, I tell everyone. And how so? I'll occasionally get asked. And I've been pulled over for indecent exposure once too many times. And while split personality disorder John Late was relating to his girlfriend, he pulled out his pocket mirror and shouted into it with, hands off her, mate, she's mine. What do you call two $20 bills side by side? Andy Jackson and his twin brother. This one, I did this joke years ago. They were applauding me. For the 1938 heavyweight boxing match between Joe Louis and Max Schmeling, his German opponent, FDR put down $20 on the German. So much for patriotism. And then the narcissist said of his now ex-wife, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be driven to have affairs. And she said, I know. I should have pulled over and let him walk. And this is terrible. And then the halfwit, you're going to love this. The halfwit overheard someone say, I had to pay my fucking taxes. And he then told that someone, I didn't know taxes has sex. Can I sit in and watch? The hell else I got here? I read the biblical Old Testament book of Job many times, but I never found out where it says to apply. There's so much crap here. Get lost and don't make me say it again. I've been told that most women will, quote, give it up, unquote, after the third date. Well, I tried to speed things up with a first and second date recently. I showed up at her door with, hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye. Followed by, hello. A friend of mine told me that last year he had to pay back taxes through the nose. Well, at the risk of being called a moron, I said, doggone it, I didn't know the IRS was accepting snot as legal tender. Oh, the hell else I got? And I'm just sitting here covering your ass, said she, after I asked her what she was doing while sitting in the car on the lookout for anyone coming home to the house that I was burglarizing. And after I slapped my behind, just to make sure the damn thing was still there, I yelled out to her with the open window with, don't scare me like that. And then his boss, oh, okay, that's the end of that joke. And then I like this. His boss told wise guy John Horsey, stop goofing off on the job. And then John said, okay, just as soon as I went.
Oh, that was